Most babies start to drool a lot and explore the world by putting everything in their mouth around 3 months of age or so. And when babies start to do this, parents just assume that their babies are teething because excessive drooling can be a sign of teething. However, in those early days, it's probably just them exploring the world. A baby can get their first tooth anytime between 4 and 7 months, and sometimes it can happen a little bit earlier and sometimes a little bit later than that. And the first 2 teeth to show up are usually the bottom 2 middle teeth. After that, the top 2 middle teeth usually come in, but those are not hard and fast rules, and sometimes other random teeth show up before those. For most babies, that first tooth comes in around 6 months of age, and after that, it just feels like they're continuously teething because they'll start to get the symptoms, it'll break through. Sometimes the baby will show signs of teething, but the tooth won't actually erupt. You're just waiting for it to eventually come in. And then they usually get their last baby tooth by around 3 years of age, and so it just feels like one continuous process for a few years, actually. The most common symptoms associated with teething are excessive drooling, like I mentioned before, mild irritability, sometimes sleep disturbances, and a low-grade fever. But any temperature of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius is usually a sign of another type of infection or illness. And if your baby is running a fever, call your pediatrician, and after asking you more specific questions, they'll be able to give you tailored information and advice. A lot of parents have heard that diarrhea and other symptoms are associated with teething, but there's no research to show that that's true. Maybe it's just coincidence and they had other things going on at the same time that they were teething. The bottom line is that many parents write off symptoms associated with other illnesses and just think it's teething and then actually delay treatment for underlying medical conditions. So if you notice that your baby is having unusual symptoms and they're persisting or getting worse, call the doctor and then they'll be able to decide if anything needs to be done about it. You may also notice when your baby's teething that there's a swollen red gum area where the tooth is trying to erupt, and there are things that you can do to alleviate your baby's discomfort. You can talk with the doctor about over-the-counter pain relievers that are appropriate for your baby's age and weight. They'll be able to tell you what dosage and schedule is appropriate. And you can also wash your hands thoroughly, make sure your nails are trimmed, and gently rub the area that looks red and swollen. And this pressure can offer a lot of pain relief to your baby. This is another reason why they put everything in their mouth and want to gnaw on things. A lot of parents use teething rings for their babies, and that's fine as long as they're solid. Avoid the fluid-filled ones and just make sure that they're chilled, not frozen, because that can actually cause problems too. Another suggestion is using a clean washcloth. You can get it wet with cold water, squeeze it out, and then while you're supervising your baby, let them just kind of gnaw on it, and that cold can be very comforting to them too. Avoid teething tablets that have either belladonna or benzocaine in them because the FDA has issued warnings against both of those for complications associated with them. Also avoid amber necklaces that claim to help with teething symptoms because the necklace around the baby's neck can cause strangulation. And also the little pieces can be a choking hazard. And so avoid those things. And if you have more questions about what to do for your child's teething symptoms, talk with your pediatrician. As for caring for your baby's teeth, as soon as the first ones erupt, you can start brushing them with a soft bristled toothbrush, and you can use fluoride toothpaste. Use just a smear or about the size of a grain of rice, and especially do this before you put them to bed at night. Avoid giving your baby a bottle or juice before bed because it can lead to tooth decay. Also make your baby's first appointment with the dentist around their first birthday. This is a great opportunity for you to ask the dentist questions about concerns or observations that you've made, and it's also an opportunity for them to educate you on proper oral hygiene for your baby. They can also become familiar with the dentist and have a positive interaction with them before they might have negative ones in the future if they have to actually have a procedure or care done on their teeth. If you have more questions for me in the future, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.